Have you thought about buying a house, but you're afraid that you'll make some kind of a big mistake? That's what we're going to talk about today, so stick around. Hi there, I'm Heather Evers with Norman Homes and Lifestyle, brokered by Century 21. Today, we're going to talk about some very common mistakes that a lot of buyers make when they go to buy a house and how you can avoid those same mistakes. One mistake that I see a lot of buyers make is that they don't get pre-approved for their mortgage before they start to shop for their house. I know, you think to yourself, I'm not gonna go get a loan before I even know if I want a house, what kind of house I want, what I'm looking for. But here's the thing, you need to know where you can shop. You may think that you can afford far less house or far more house than you actually can. So find out your price point before you start to look around. Another reason that you want to have that letter ready is if you do find the one, you find the house, you want it. If you're working with me, I'm going to say, I have to have a pre-approval letter to submit with your offer. That takes a minute to get it done, so you want to go ahead and just get it done right out of the gate. Another common mistake I see is buyers starting to look around really with no idea what they want. Of course, you're gonna learn more as you shop about what you do and do not want, but you really should make yourself a couple lists. So for one thing, have a list of your must-haves. Like if this house does not have these 3 things, it doesn't matter how much I like it, I'm not buying it. You wanna also have a list of your I would likes. So ideal, things that you want in the house, but it's not a deal breaker. Then lastly, make yourself a list of deal breakers. Again, it's just a yes or no. If this house has this feature and it's a deal breaker for me, then I'm not buying this house. Another pitfall that I see buyers make sometimes, especially if they haven't gone through this process before, is not wanting to work with a realtor. And I understand that your thought process might be it's going to cost more money. But in almost all cases, it does not cost you money to have a buyer's agent. Typically, the seller pays that buyer's agent's commission. So there are circumstances where that is not the case. And if I'm your agent and we run into that scenario on a particular house, I'm going to be very clear with you and explain to you how it works, the reasons why that seller's not paying a commission, and what we can do next. Another place that I see buyers try to save money is the home inspection. So that is on you. You are responsible to pay for that home inspection. But I really do not encourage you to skip that. There are so many things that you cannot see with the naked eye that you really want to look for, and you need a professional to do that. It is worth every penny, even if your home is new construction. I hear a lot of people say, hey, I'm buying a brand new house. Why would I get an inspection? The builder is going to do an inspection, but you want an independent third party to look at that house and make sure that it's in the right condition for you. One thing to definitely think about when you're getting in a home is the resale value. You may think that you're not moving for several years, if ever, but please, 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 do not get upside down on a house. Do not get in a house that you have had a bidding war, you've paid way over asking, maybe you brought cash to the table to gap the appraisal, and then you find out, oops, we are getting transferred, we have to move. In that event, it is very unlikely that you are going to recoup that overage. So just be careful, don't get too excited and pay too much for your house. Another mistake I see some buyers make is you can get really excited about the house. Maybe it's perfect in every way. It's got all your must-haves, it's got a lot of your likes, doesn't have any deal breakers, but did you pay attention to the neighborhood? Did you pay attention to the surrounding homes? Are the neighbors in that area, do they appear to be keeping up with their homes? Think about things like proximity to your usual hotspots. Is your Target very far away? Is your favorite restaurant very far away? If you have kids in school, are you positive that that home falls within your same school district? These are things you want to check out beforehand. Another thing that I would caution you about is not making yourself house poor. Just don't stretch yourself so thin that you're all mortgage and you can't really afford anything else. It can be easy to get swept up in wanting a particular house and then get down the road and find out no more sushi on Tuesdays because we spent too much. That leads us to another mistake that a lot of buyers make, which is just making an emotional decision. So in particular, if there are multiple offers, or if you feel like there's some kind of urgency about this house, you can get really excited and start to up your price, and then you start to cave on more items in your offer, and before you know it, you have kind of talked yourself into a situation for your purchase that you're probably not real thrilled with. Another thing that you need to be really cautious about is paying attention to the home's history. And if you're working with a good realtor, they're going to do a lot of this legwork for you. You need to request disclosures for the property. That's what the seller has to tell you about anything that they know about the condition. You want a copy of that in writing. You also want to look to see, how long has this house been on the market? Has it been on the market 3 or 4 times and gone up and come down? Why is that? You want to kind of dig into those issues and make sure there's not anything going on. You also want to be really careful not to make mistakes with your mortgage paperwork. So read all of the paperwork from your lender. Make sure you're comfortable with every term and that you understand every term. Do not just blankly sign all your paperwork. Another mistake I see made a lot is that buyers think about just the home price itself and don't take into consideration some of the extra costs. So you want to make sure that when you get an expense estimate from your lender, that they have included an insurance quote and that they have included your taxes in that. And then you also want to think about things like, obviously, your closing cost. That's what you have to bring to the table to close on this house. Do you have that in a savings account or somewhere that you can access? And then also think about things that the house might need. Is there immediate upkeep that is going to have to be taken care of? Is there a pool you need to hire someone for? Does the yard need a professional to come in? Are there things that you need done to even make the house livable for moving? Is the carpet, does it look toxic to you? Is it disgusting? Do you need to get that out of there before you can even move in? So really tally all those costs and don't just think about the home purchase price. That brings us to another mistake that can be made at your final walkthrough. So say you saw the house in one condition and it looked great. And then when you go for your final walkthrough for closing, the seller has scratched up the walls, moving out furniture, and they spilled Kool-Aid all over the living room floor, and who knows what else could be wrong with it. When you do your final walkthrough, you're going to be excited, but don't be so excited that you go ahead and close with things that have not been taken care of. If that becomes an issue, you want to go ahead and talk to your agent about, what are my options? Do we delay closing? Can we ask them for some kind of a credit? Just talk to your agent and they can help you figure it out. So another thing to think about is the future. So if you don't have any kids right now, but you plan to have your very own football team, are you going to have enough bedrooms in this house in 5 or 6 years? Are you going to be in the school district that you want to be in? Are there 3 stories in the house and your knees are already going bad and before too long you're not making it up and down those stairs? Think about where you're at now, but also think about where you're going and whether or not this home is going to fit you long term. Okay, we're going to talk about excitement one more time. It is so fun and so exciting to go shop for a house, but do not get carried away with the process and just buy the first home that you like. You really need to get out there and pay attention to what's on the market. How fast is it moving? What does a home with the features that you want seem to cost? Just pay attention, take your time, lean on your realtor, and the right home is going to come along at the right time. I just really do not want you to end up with buyer's remorse. There's no worse thing than somebody closing on a house and then telling me later, we really wish we'd shopped longer. So those are some of the mistakes that I regularly see from buyers and that I want to help you avoid. So let's go shop, let's do it the right way. I'm looking forward to it. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe, hit that little notification bell so that you know when I post my next video, and I'll see you next time.